So Koenigsegg had a top speed record attempt that would beat the Bugatti Veyron. And the Veyron did it in, I believe it was like 267 miles an hour, something like that.
I think the Veyron was 256.
Right. So officially it was 256, right?
Yeah.
That's the official.
Yeah.
But I know on Top Gear they said that they did 267, but it's not like official. It was like unofficial.
Well, you
right?
have to go both ways.
You have to go both ways, and then they have to average those. So Bugatti did it on Volkswagen Test Track. I think it's called Erlesen or something.
Erlesen.
Yeah, Erlesen. And it has a 6 mile straight.
Yes.
And it was built, I think, in
World War II.
Yeah, World War II. So just 6 miles straight, and you can test whatever you want. Test top speed, plenty of space for it. Koenigsegg obviously does not have a 6 mile straight on a private test track.
They're also not part of the VAG, which Bugatti is.
Exactly. So it was once said that Bugatti was the only company that can actually do this because they have access to all this stuff. You're not ever going to go 250 miles an hour like on public roads, right?
I mean, speak for yourself.
Listen, I got some up boost.
Listen,
I got the Cobb tuner. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I got a stratified tune, so you don't know who you're talking to here.
I know a thing or two about performance. Okay, I got Firestones on all four corners.
Yeah.
So
and the Indy Firehawk 500s.
those are good tires. My wife has them on her Elantra.
Cool.
No. I mean, like, I'm not making a joke. Like, that's actually a really good tire.
Wow, those are really great tires.
You should.
My wife has them on her Elantra.
Well, it only has 200,000 miles. It's quite a performance-oriented machine. So on the record attempt of Koenigsegg, they didn't have that. So they went to, I believe it was Nevada. Is it Nevada or Nevada? I think it's Nevada. Like, how do you pronounce it? I think it's Nevada. Well, whatever. It's either Nevada or Arizona.
Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. So it was in the desert, essentially.
I love being in the desert.
And they don't we all? Yeah. But listen, we're keto people now. We don't talk these things.
Speak for yourself.
Oh no! Oh, you've fallen.
Just the past week.
Fallen from grace.
Yes, yeah. But hey, I'm still losing weight. That's the cool part.
See, the good part about being down on a diet is not being on a diet. So Koenigsegg shut down 11 miles of highway.
Whoa.
Yeah, 11 miles. So,
take that, Volkswagen.
Yeah. And they needed tires because a lot of Civic owners think that you can go as fast as you want on tires, and that's fine for a Civic that's geared to go 140. Like, you can have handle anything. For a car that does north of 250, that starts to be a problem.
Yes.
Because you don't know what the compound does at those speeds, at those temperatures, at those pressures. So with the Veyron, they had to do extensive testing, and they made a tire specifically for the Veyron.
It's a lot of money, too.
It is. It's like they actually made a remanufactured, like a re-engineered one. And it's not $30,000 a set. It's like $10,000 a set now.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. So, I mean, you say that, but you save $20,000. Like, $20,000 is still $20,000. But you're still paying $10,000 for tires.
Isn't the windshield wiper stock on a Veyron like $30,000 because it's like made of a single piece of milled magnesium or something?
Yeah, something like that. So, what's funny is on the Veyron, you have to replace the wheels.
The wheels
themselves, because they get micro cracks or something. Like, they're made out of magnesium, I believe. And
so they're actual mag wheels.
Yeah, they're actual mag wheels, not like the Kragers that you get on a 72 Camaro.
Got them from Jags.
Yeah. So I believe they're magnesium or some sort of like weird alloy that's only available in like a remote part of the Somalian jungle.
This metal is actually gathered from the feces of a monkey that died 2 million years ago.
It's made of petrified guano.
Combined with meteorite metal and some other things that are not exactly legal, and we cannot speak about them on camera.
Exactly.
It's polar bear femurs.
Yeah, polar bear femurs. So the Veyron actually has wheels that you have to replace over, I don't know, 5,000 miles or 5 or 10,000 miles. Right?
I wonder what the bolt pattern is on a Veyron. Just as another aside,
I think Civic wheels could probably fit like 5. I think it's probably 5 by 114.3.
Probably 5 by 120 at least.
Listen, I don't.
It might be a 6 lug.
It's like a Viper. Viper is like,
Or like the
"Hey,
CTS.
put whatever we got on the Ram on that thing. Who cares?
The first gen CTSV for some reason has truck hubs. Like, well, it's going to be fast. So
We need something beefy.
this car's going to have more nuts. Lug nuts.
So
anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So you need to replace the wheels, and but the thing is, on the Chiron, you don't. And I'm like, that's kind of funny. Like, Volkswagen just figured that out. Like, we figured out a way so you don't have to replace your wheels every time you do an oil change. Like, that's weird. But I think the Chiron wheels fit on the Veyron. So those of you Veyron owners, yeah, I know.
Hit up Craigslist, get you a set of Chiron wheels.
Exactly. Yeah, you might be saving some money there. So back to Koenigsegg. Koenigsegg doesn't have the money to make a new tire from scratch, and I don't think Michelin wants to.
That doesn't. I mean, that's actually kind of surprising.
Well,
kind of, not really.
No,
They're a very
because
small
like
operation.
like Volkswagen can sort of pony up all the stuff,
Right.
But what Koenigsegg did do is they called Michelin and they said, we need a tire that can beat the Veyron. The saving grace is that the Koenigsegg Agera or the 1-to-1, I can't remember what, I think it was Agera. It is way lighter than the Veyron. Veyron's like 4,000 pounds.
I think more than that.
Yeah, it's a heavy girl.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. She got thick thighs.
She's
THICC.
right. So the Agera it's all carbon fiber and it's more race car than luxury car, and I think it's around 3,000 pounds, something like that, maybe less. So they didn't need all that. They didn't need specialized tires. So what they went with was off the shelf Cup 2s, Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s. And they went to Michelin and they said, will these tires do 275 miles an hour? Like, will they do that? And Michelin was like, dude, like, yeah, listen, man.
One way to find out.
Yeah. So they said, okay, so we can test them. We're going to test them, and we need data from you. So they needed data up to like from 200 miles an hour, incremental data by mile an hour with pressures and temperatures and what the car's doing and how long it takes to get there. You know, because duration also matters a lot because the tires like literally wear out. So how much grip they have and like where you're going to do it and what's the elevation, like everything, all this really sciencey stuff. And they get to the 11-mile test track, and they're doing the thing, and they're taking their measurements or whatever. They start doing their runs. They don't get up to the top speed right away, but they start doing their runs up to 200s and whatever. And then the guy from Koenigsegg tells Johnny from Michelin, he says, because Johnny's trying to get more info out of Koenigsegg, more data, more just to back up the fact that these tires aren't going to blow up or cause some damage. And Koenigsegg were like, oh, we tested this in Sweden up to like 250 like before we got here. So we know it's fine there. Like, and
If it works in Sweden.
and then they were like, yeah, I wish you would have told me that. Like, yeah, it would have been nice.
If the tire works in Sweden, it'll work in Nevada.
Yeah. No, but it's like, well, we just like did it. Like we just did this thing. So
That's so cool.
like they just did not care. Like, yeah, we did our homework before we got here, so we know it'll do that. And what ended up happening was there was a tire shop many miles away. And if they had a tire blowout or they had to change tires, they would have to drive. And, that takes time, right? So in order for them not to drive, they just said, let's run what we brung and see how many runs we can get. So they kept on pushing how fast they can go and how many runs they can do. So the first run, I think it's on the internet, like the entire like raw run. And what's funny is they said you don't need, since we have 11 miles, you don't need to do any, don't do any race start or whatever. start hitting it, like go maybe half throttle, maybe a little less, up to 200 or up to like 190 or something. And the way this thing accelerates, it's just insane. So it gets to 200, it gets there reasonably quick. Then they hit full throttle at around like 190, 200. Then you see it just climb 200, 210, 220, like the laws of physics do not apply to this car anymore. It's just like they're just like, we've hit hyperspace, and it gets.
They've gone plaid.
Yeah, they've gone plaid. And it hits 280 something miles an hour.
Good night.
Yeah, 280 miles an hour, and they did it back to back, right? So then after they did those two runs, they said, we'd like to do a run where it is we try to beat our record from 0 to 300 kilometers an hour to 0, because it actually had that record. Koenigsegg held that record. It was like 25 seconds or something like that. 0 to 300 kilometers an hour. That's about 186, right? 186 down to 0 in 20 something. It might even be 20 seconds. I might be butchering it, but imagine that. Like,
that's fast.
But this car already did like 2 or more runs at 280 on these tires.
Unreal.
So the Michelin guys were like, I don't know. This is really like, this is uncharted territory from the get-go. But they're like, maybe you should change the tires. And then I think they convinced the Michelin guys to do it or something, and they're like, all right, fine, let's one run. It's like, yeah, Mom, I want to watch some TV. Like, okay, 10 minutes, and they're like, okay, all right, and they do it, and they beat their record. Oh, and on these tires that are, I'm not sure how bald they are, but they've definitely been used.
What's wrong with being bald?
There's nothing wrong with being bald, but you are not a tire, sir. You are not your baldness does not hit the ground because that would be quite.
I don't have hair on the bottom of my feet.
I guess that works. I don't know where you're going with that, but
me either.
I'll play along. Yes, and yeah. So they did it. They beat their record.
Wow.
And it's just I can't imagine. One thing I love about these big companies, because Koenigsegg is a it's not a big business, but it's a big business. It's one of those.
It's a big money business. They make a lot of money.
Right. They make. I'm not even sure how much money they make. But they definitely are a big brand. It's not like mom and pop's pizza shop. Like they people know them the world over, and they make the fastest cars in the world. Literally the fastest cars in the world. So it's funny when they get together with a $1 billion corporation like Michelin, and it's basically like a bunch of guys saying like, I think we'll probably do it. Like, it'll work. Like, whatever. Like,
it's like NASA.
Yeah. Like, do you have some duct tape? Like, we could probably make this work. Like, and that's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's like we have a goal. Let's get this done. Like, obviously we don't want to kill anybody. We don't want to, we want to make sure it's safe. But I feel like with Volkswagen that would never happen. I feel like Volkswagen is like, oh, this is 1 degree off. Let's just call it off or whatever.
I mean, you say that.
No, yeah.
But the whole Dieselgate thing.
Well, Dieselgate. Well, people like went to jail and stuff. So no, I understand. This is different from Dieselgate. This is like because nobody was defrauded or anything. It wasn't. I think with Volkswagen that was very calculated, and I saw they had the rules, and they were like, we can go around these. Like it's technically it's in the rules, but we have this mode where it it almost it'll meet the emission standards for such and such and such, but in real world it doesn't do that. So I know I totally get that, but this is not that. This is just I love the sort of backyard engineering aspect of it.
Absolutely.
Even though there's millions of dollars at play here. And I just adore that. So